Hello and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Paget Kagy. I am a frequency healer and quantum coach, and this is my husband, Steve. Just Steve. I thought it would be really fun to talk about twin flames and soulmates. So Christina QSA, January 2024, she actually submitted this question. Please talk about soulmates, twin flames, and karmic relationships. So
well, I hope you're ready to talk about it because I'm not sure how much I can add.
So this is completely out of Steve's depth. This is also kind of out of my, like, I don't really look at relationships through this lens. However, I do believe that all of the significant relationships in your life, they are soul connections, right? Especially because relationships are really just mirrors of us. They're really just there to teach us lessons. So we are basically going to approach this from a fun angle of like trying to determine whether we are twin flames or soulmates. So Steve is so out of his depth. And then we're going to ask you for your opinions, okay? Gosh. Do you think we're soulmates or twin flames?
I need to understand the definitions of what these things mean before I comment further.
A mental definition isn't even going to clarify anything.
Okay.
So that's why I thought approaching it through questions would be better.
Okay.
But basically, I think the whole concept is a soulmate is here to help you through your evolution, like side by side as like a partner kind of a thing. Which I mean, hello, you can like say that that's any marriage or any long-term relationship. But then a twin flame is a little bit, it's different. It's more intense.
Okay.
A twin flame connection is basically this concept that the other person that you're with is literally the kind of missing aspect of you. So if you guys actually merged, you would be a full one
flame.
One flame, exactly.
Hashtag one flame.
Yes. Okay. So I actually asked ChatGPT to give me some questions. All right. So, and then I want your guys' opinion. Like, are we soulmates or twin flames? Because some of you guys commented, oh, it sounds like you have a twin flame relationship. I don't know. I have, by the way, no attachment to whether we are a twin flame or a soulmate. It doesn't really matter to me. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. So, okay. Was there an instant recognition or a deep sense of familiarity that felt almost inexplicable?
Yes.
No, sweetie. Like, is that?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we connected pretty quickly.
Yeah, we did connect pretty quickly. Guys, I also am like, I don't have a great memory.
I would say, yes, there was some degree of common connection and familiarity. Like you didn't feel difficult to break down. You didn't feel like,
you know what? I get to
estranged or whatever. Yeah. Right. So
I remember more, Steve. I remember more through you because I'm like literally tapping in. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I like this. Okay. So now I'm remembering. Yeah. Yeah, because when we did meet and we first started dating, it's not that you felt like I necessarily knew you in terms of, you know, oh my God, we've been friends forever. But it was more of an instant bond.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. An instant bond.
Yep.
And like I can see you and I can see your potential. Agreed. I think that's really what it was for me now that I'm looking at it. It's like, I see you, I see your potential. Okay. How do you handle conflicts and disagreements?
Pretty badly.
Steve!
Well,
Okay,
I mean, no, much better now than we've ever done before.
Okay, so this is hilarious. Okay, ready? So the explanation that ChatGPT gave me was, soulmates might find it easier to resolve conflicts calmly, while twin flames might experience
intense arguing,
intense emotions, and need to work through significant personal growth.
I mean, I think that's a very good summary of maybe 7 years of maybe 6 years of our relationship.
That is absolutely hilarious.
Right,
okay. Okay. Next question.
Okay.
Do you feel a deep sense of completion and wholeness when you're together?
Yes. There's literally no other answer to this question.
Wait, guys, if you can clock the terror in his eyes as he's trying to figure out between like honesty, authenticity.
No, I mean, of course I do.
No, sweetie, I want us to be super honest about this.
Can you please repeat the question?
You aren't? Okay, wait. This is like, I feel like a lot of times, like, guys get really scared about answering things honestly because they think it's like a trap. Like, is that true?
ChatGPT was written by a woman.
Okay.
It wasn't.
No, Steve, I'm gonna be super honest. So I want you to be super honest, okay? Do you feel a deep sense of completion and wholeness when you're together?
Yes.
Do you mean that honestly? You're looking at me like deer in the headlights.
Well, I mean, what's your answer? Yes, no, or sometimes? Like, literally, like...
Yes, no, or sometimes. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to say. So, okay, I'm going to expand on this, okay?
Thank you.
Like, of course, right, in the larger sense, there are times, like, let's say, so Steve has to travel a lot, right, for work, and so we are physically separated, and I feel like we're pretty independent. When we're physically separated, we're like, in the beginning, it was really hard to be away from each other, like, really hard. Like, remember, we would send each other essays of text of, this is what I would... But now I think it's a lot easier for us to be separated physically.
I agree.
And still know that each other is there, but like not need it. Does that make sense?
Does that answer the question?
So I think an elaborate answer to this is like, I feel like we're pretty whole now in ourselves. In our best moments, we are so like in sync and right. But then if we're separate from each other physically, I think we're both okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you agree or not?
I agree. I think that's a very good answer.
Okay, Steve is so out of his depth right now. Like, look at him.
I'm just worried about the next question.
I know, I can see. Okay, is this how like all men feel? Yeah. Guys, comment if you're a guy, guys, whatever, comment in the chat if you're like, oh my gosh, this situation would terrify me. The answer of that was soulmates often complement each other, while twin flames might challenge each other to become whole individually. How? I literally just said that we all both felt whole individually.
It's almost like you read it beforehand.
I didn't read it. Okay. Have you experienced significant personal growth since being together?
Yes.
I mean, obviously. I mean, that was an easy question.
We've discussed that before.
I mean, come on, though. Even in a soulmate relationship, you can experience significant... Like, there are friendships I have where I experience significant personal growth through that friendship. So, I don't know if I agree with this.
Twin flame friendship.
Oh, guys, are there twin flame friendships? Okay, so the answer here says twin flame relationships often act as a catalyst for personal transformation and spiritual growth. Okay. Well, I would say for you, 100%.
Personal transformation.
Oh my, Steve, I don't even know what would have happened to you if we didn't meet.
That definitely wouldn't be sat here.
Is your relationship characterized by a feeling of unconditional love and acceptance?
Acceptance is the word that I'm struggling with.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually.
Sometimes I'm pretty accepting, but there are certain things that I struggle with.
Yeah. I mean, we're still on this growth journey together, and there are certain things, right? But he's just obviously reflecting my own non-acceptance of an aspect of myself. But as we go higher together, I will be able to resolve those within me, but I'm still not resolved 100% on everything.
We'll have to save these questions and answer them again in 5
years' time. We should answer them again. Like, yeah. So soulmate relationships often embody unconditional love, while twin flame connections can involve more intense learning experiences.
Then we're getting our answers here.
What the heck? This is really bizarre, actually, because I expected that. Okay, that's weird. It's like the opposite of what I expect. Okay. Do you share a similar life purpose or spiritual path?
Life purpose, I would say similar. Yes.
How?
I think we're just very similar in terms of our background, values, like what we want to achieve in our life. So,
okay.
We spoke about that in the first or second episode. And then the second part of the question was spiritual path.
Spiritual path.
I think I'm lost in the forest and you're like running along the road.
Okay. Do we share a similar life purpose or spirit? I don't know, because thank you for that.
Okay.
Similar life purpose. Yeah, I can say that we share a similar life purpose in not in the physical sense, in the literal sense rather, but I think in the larger sense, we both want to access the same point from different angles.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like access the same point of, I'm going to call it consciousness. You can call it evolution, growth, whatever, potential, from different angles.
Okay.
I'd say that. Spiritual path. I mean, he is on the path now because we're together. He's like kind of forced to be on the path, but is he mentally accepting always that he is on the path? Or does he just say, yeah, I just made a cool mindset shift randomly? I don't know, right? Like, I don't know if he will accept that we're on the same spiritual path, but I think really, technically, we must be because we're together. So we process through it differently, but I would say yes. Twin flames often feel they have a shared mission or purpose in life, while soulmates simply enjoy a harmonious partnership. Have you experienced synchronicities or signs that led you to each other?
This isn't making great viewing. I think it means, were there things that happened before we met that make sense now?
Yeah.
Maybe, but maybe not as explicit. I don't think we've ever really thought about it.
No, I don't think we ever thought about this because when we met, it was totally a surprise. Okay, so it says, both twin flames and soulmates might experience synchronicities, but they can be more profound and frequent with twin flames. All right, so we're on no on that. Do you feel like you have known each other in past lives?
I mean, I don't think I had a past life.
Okay, so we joke that he's like a baby spirit and that he doesn't, this is like literally like his second life or his third life or whatever. I mean, I know that's probably not true, but we joke about that because he can't do any other accent other than a British accent.
I was a British fighter pilot, right? That was my...
Yeah, I do actually think he was definitely in World War II as a British fighter pilot for sure. You know, this is a really interesting one from my perspective because I don't actually, like when I met him, I didn't feel this profound like, oh, we have known each other in past lives. And I still don't necessarily, but maybe I don't feel that with anyone. But like, I don't have this like, oh my God, I've definitely met you. And I don't perceive things in that way.
Okay.
I perceive familiarity. I perceive that you are like me. I perceive that you are a reflection. I can see into some of your past lives, but I don't necessarily connect it with me when I read those things. So I'll say probably not.
Okay.
Both types of relationships might involve past life connections, but the feelings can be especially strong with twin flames. So we're a nope on that. Do you feel a deep soul level connection that transcends physical attraction and everyday interactions?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I think these questions are hard because it's like, what does this mean? Is what Steve would ask, right? I think these questions are so out of his depth.
What does it say?
This deep soul connection can be a hallmark of both twin flames and soulmates, but is often more intense in twin flame relationships.
Okay. We started off very strong.
Yeah.
As twin flames.
Yeah.
We're struggling.
Like, do we have really profound experiences together? Yes. Really profound moments of reflection together where we feel incredibly connected, incredibly in sync, and we have like a psychic connection. Yes, we do. But I feel like the way this is phrased, it makes it sound like we're in some like sci-fi movie where we're like together and like immediately we're traveling all these different dimensions of reality together. And it's like, you know, and it's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like reverberating from our being and we're like, oh my God, I don't know how to function. No.
I think you have to take the questions and then put them into this human experience.
So here's the definition of twin flames. They're often seen as two halves of the same soul. Twin flames can experience a tumultuous yet transformative relationship. The connection can be intense, challenging, and often involve periods of separation and reunion.
Wow.
Soulmates typically are individuals who resonate with each other on a deep level, providing companionship, love, and support. The relationship tends to be more harmonious and stable. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that we are twin flames or we are soulmates? Soulmates are more of, it's more like, hey, you're here so that we can share this human experience together.
There's
right?
not a lot of conflict.
Yeah, there's not that. I mean, there is conflict, but it's more like, hey, look, like we're here to keep each other company, right? And we're here to just be like this support for each other as we go through this life and enjoy life together. So when I actually tap into the twin flame, when I actually read it, I'm like, I don't know if you want to be in a twin flame relationship because it actually sounds really difficult, and tiring and like all consuming. Like, how are you supposed to function and get anything done and achieve anything like outside of the relationship when you are constantly being like challenged with yourself in that relationship?
But does it make you feel like that could be more of our relationship, and now you're 9 years in, you're grateful that you've done the hard work and all of the benefits are about to be really unlocked. And it was worth it.
Sweetie says, hopefully.
Just throwing it out there.
So, okay, true, actually. True, because, oh gosh, yes, now that wow, you really remember these things, because like I can really tap into like all of how hard the relationship was through you.
Ah, no wonder I look knackered.
Oh my gosh. Like, yeah. Okay. Wow. Interesting how this space brings up a lot of our, ooh, okay. Yeah. So actually maybe we could be twin flames in the sense that I feel like we had an intense aversion to each other at times.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where like we would be intensely like almost
angry at each other.
And almost disgusted at each other because we were just reflecting back our own disgust of our own self.
Well, I think there are a lot of similarities as well that, you know.
Yeah. So that is another thing that's kind of interesting about us that I did read while researching this whole thing, is that twin flame relationships, you can usually find like very similar paths in your life's journey, like before you met, like a lot of similar paralleling type of
100%
things. And then if you add that into the equation, we 100% have very paralleling sort of situations, circumstances, like phases of evolution. Like when you were super depressed at a certain point in your life is when I was super depressed and lost in my life. And hit my low, you hit your low at the same time.
Similar,
yeah. And then we were both kind of the black sheep of the family. Both wanted to do our own thing. Both felt like we didn't really get a leg up in a lot of ways, in certain ways in life, right?
Had to do it all ourselves.
We had to do it all of ourselves. There's a lot of stuff. Also, we were like both incredibly academically like excellent, I guess, like in academics.
Yeah, but also incredibly determined.
Right, determined.
Yeah.
Because I hate academics. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But I was very determined to just be great, right?
Yeah.
And that was the easy way for me to, like, I don't know, prove it or something. And so same thing with you, right?
Even though you're a middle child, like your youngest.
Yeah, I'm the youngest. Yeah.
Is
like
a lot
9 years younger.
So that's almost like doesn't count. I'm the youngest sibling.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of other little things like that about, you've already touched upon our careers, our interests. Those things are significantly different.
But you were more successful in your career from the very beginning. I was like no successful.
Yeah, but I had a very linear career path.
Yeah, so that's what's not a little like, is that you didn't go on the creative path and I went on the hyper creative path. And so that is something that's not necessarily paralleled, but it's just like different. But that's interesting because the twin flame thing, see, this is where, guys, it's like, I don't think it's one of those things with a twin flame where when you get to the highest point in that relationship, you'll just know. Like, you'll just know, because it will literally be this huge, profound recognition of yourself, right? In the other person, like a boom, oh my God. It's almost like a really big awakening moment. If someone does some plant medicine or does whatever, it's almost that profound where you're just like, oh my God, we have done this so many times, or we are each other. And it's what I talked about what true love actually is. It's one of those things, guys, where you won't really even know. It'll be an intellectual exercise until you get to the transcendent part of being in a twin flame relationship. Whereas with soulmates, I think there are a couple of different soulmates. I think there are soulmates where they're there to teach you lessons, which I think most relationships are there to just teach you an aspect of yourself that you need to look at and reflect on within yourself. Teach you a lesson, right? Help you evolve, help you grow, give you the lesson, give you the lesson, give you the lesson. Or soulmates can be like those people who are just basically offering you kind of like that support, right? They're either going to offer you a lesson, they're going to offer you companionship or like inspiration and support to go on your way. I think soulmates kind of like encompass all of those things. And guys, anyone that you meet that you have kind of a connection with, come on, you already know this, that you have known them in a past or alternate life. Like you decided to go on clearly to some degree right? An evolution together in this reality. You agreed upon it anyway. So that means that your energies are linked through space and time, right? So you already know that. You don't even need to ask. So it's just, yeah.
It's, absolute facts. Like, just no questions asked.
I love when we're having these conversations and I'm like, this is what it is. And then Steve's like, yep, okay.
I can't argue with it.
You are so out of your depth. So let us know
Lovely.
if you guys think we are twin flames or soulmates. I would love to know what you guys, what your thoughts are on that. And also if you have been with your twin flame and what is that? What was that experience like for you? Right? Like if you've met your twin flame, because a lot of times they say that, to be quite honest, like if you're not evolved enough yet, you are probably not going to be with them in this lifetime. It's because you're just not ready. It would destroy you. Like you wouldn't want to be in that relationship anyway. Like you would need to be of a certain level of evolution to be able to handle that kind of relationship and grow into that kind of relationship, right? It's the same thing when it comes to abundance, money, success. You have to be the kind of person who can handle the success, handle the abundance, all of these things that we talk about. So anyway, thank you, Christina, for submitting that question. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and bell button so you don't miss an episode. We are going to be back. Please leave also some of your questions in the comments below that you would like us to answer, or if there's any questions you'd like us to answer, and we will cover those and some of the other questions that you guys submitted on Instagram as well. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Take care of yourselves.